was just noticing that my gray shirt brings out the gray in my beard. Anyway. Yes. Well, the past few days has resulted in a couple vinyl finds. Some interesting ones. I got some interesting stuff. Alright, so the first one, I guess a couple days ago, was the Mary S. Roberts Pet Adoption Center thrift shop. I said a couple days ago. It was yesterday. But again, the gray and the beard. Anyway. Alright, so let's get down to it before I embarrass myself more. I was going to put these in some sort of order, but there's no point. This first one, I am very excited about. Maybe you know by now that one of the areas I'm building my collection on is on international music. And let me tell you, I am thrilled about this one. Thrilled. For a couple reasons, actually. First of all, this is on the Nonesuch Explorer series. I'm gonna have to look more into that because that's pretty exciting. But this is A Bell Ringing in the Empty Sky. So it's Japanese shakuhachi music. And you can kind of see the instrument there. Yeah. So excited about this. So excited. Oh. I may have to listen to that one tonight, actually. Alright, this next one. It's basically for my comedy collection. I think it is actually music, but it's my understanding it's satirical. Actually, it is satirical because it says it's satirical, so. But it's Stan Freberg Presents the United States of America. Volume 1, The Early Years. Yeah. So, it just sounds like, you know, he kind of has some humorous songs supposedly about the history of the United States, but I think he takes some creative license. Anyway, this next one is interesting. It's basically classical music. Copland's Appalachian Spring. But it is called Lincoln Portrait. So it has Henry Fonda doing some narration. So this falls under another category I go out of my way to find, and that is sort of documentary type. So yeah, pleased to add that. Now, in my mind, if you can find an old record, I'm not sure when this is from, but if you can find an old record that is still sealed, just pick it up, for heaven's sake. So this was like a promotional record. It's called As Time Goes By. Coast Federal Savings takes you on a sentimental journey through the past with Lee Castle and his fabulous Jimmy Dorsey Orchestra. So basically, this was like a promo item given out by a bank. So, interesting. It has their logo down there. Anyway, yeah, and it has like, I guess a song from each year or something. Yeah, that's interesting. So it's still sealed? Heck yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. Another area where I am building my collection is sort of soundtrack, not soundtracks, sound effects. And this one falls under the sort of relaxation category. So it's environments. And as you can see, it has the classic seashore sound. So it says the psychologically ultimate seashore. And then on side 2 is optimum aviary. So I actually picked it up mostly because of that one, because I love birds, and yeah. I mean, I love my dogs and even my cat, but birds were my first love, and probably my first pet that I chose for myself. So let's just say that. But sort of interesting in there. And then, yeah. The hippest record ever. Interesting. And then the last one from the Mary S. Roberts Pet Adoption Center thrift shop is a 2-record set of Leonard Bernstein's Mass. So I'm kind of intrigued. Yeah, what you probably don't know about me is, although I'm not Catholic, my wife is. And, I go to church with her, whenever I can, whenever work permits. So basically it has text from the liturgy of the Roman Mass. So I'm curious to see what Leonard Bernstein does with it. I'm kind of assuming it's, what do you call it? Operatic, I guess? But I could be entirely wrong. So either way, it should be an interesting listen. Alright, so this next batch was from tonight. Savers is my go-to spot now for records. It really is. They had some new stuff. As soon as I walked over, I saw Donovan's Mellow Yellow. I was like, he's one of my absolute favorite singers in the world. Unfortunately, it was just torn to shreds, and I mean, my website is popcrackle.com, but when there's more pops and crackles than music, to me there's no point, and it looked like that would be the case. Not to mention, you have to consider what it's going to do to your needle, so yeah. Anyway, I found lots of other good stuff, and most of these, despite the covers, the vinyl looks like they've never been played. So this, again, falls into my international music category. So this is very interesting. The Budapest Gypsy Orchestra. You kind of look there. Yeah. Looks like they possibly have some traditional instruments mixed in there, and I'm very curious to hear what it's going to sound like, but yeah. So glad to add that. These first couple are, just kind of, I saved the exciting stuff for later, but this one, just kind of curious, and you see the cover there, but the vinyl was in fantastic shape. Kind of looks like a singer-songwriter type, so I thought I'd pick it up. And some of the, well, at least one of the titles really caught my eye. Echo Wars. That's interesting. So, I'm curious to hear that one. This one is an EP, and I believe it has 4 songs on it. China. Yeah. It looks like hair metal, maybe? I'm not familiar with them, but several of these were blind purchases, but I ended up using the Amazon app, mostly because you can just scan the cover and it looks it up. it's a lot easier than typing in and doing a search and all that on AllMusic. So just what I usually do, but I was being lazy, so I just used the Amazon app. And boy, was I surprised. Several of the records I found were worth $8 or more. And keep in mind, you know, I paid $1 each for these. So this one I didn't check, but again, in fantastic shape. Looks like it's hair metal. So, you know, I want to add as much metal to my collection as I possibly can, because it's pretty rare for me to actually find any. This is another one. It was just a blind buy. It looks interesting. Blasters. It looks like they can really rock and roll there. They do have some saxophone players, it looks like. So possibly ska? I have no idea. I have no idea, really. I'm probably just making a fool of myself. But an interesting cover nonetheless, so there's that. This one I didn't look up. We have a little damage there, a little bit on the back there. But this is the Shaken Pyramids. It just looked, you know, way 80s. Yeah, from 1983. So I had to pick it up. Alright, this one, I love the band name. Spliff. That's great, Spliff. This is Emergency Exit. And you see, there must have been a water problem, whoever owned these, because a bunch of them have that on the bottom suggesting that they got stuck together at some point and were torn apart. But again, the vinyl are in great condition, so just curious about this one more than anything. This one is way 80s. And it's very silly. I could not pass this one up. So this is Mike Bat 00. Look at that. Take a close look at that. Oh, that's good. That is good. I mean, I don't even care what the music is. Let's read this here. It says, long, long ago, far into the distant future, there is a civilization called System 605, where the diseases of love and emotion no longer exist to complicate our lives. Oh man, that should be an interesting listen. Oh man. All right, this one again. A lot of these were blind buys. I picked them up just more out of curiosity, and it seemed like this person had good taste in music. So this is Ark Angel. Looks like self-titled. 1983. I guess that was a big year for them. Oh boy. This one I may regret picking it up, but Kids in the Kitchen. Yes, Kids in the Kitchen. Self-titled. I hope they realize by choosing that band name, they were basically setting themselves up for failure. Oh, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, Kids in the Kitchen. Yeah. This was part of the reason, or yeah, this was part of the reason I ditched allmusic.com to just see if I can find it on Amazon using the scanning of the cover. They found it right away. I mean, it didn't have a rating. I was hoping for ratings, but when I saw this one was going for a minimum of $8, and given the condition of the cover, you know, that's probably what I would get out of it. I decided to pick it up. But again, it's more of a curiosity because I'm not so much interested in selling my vinyl. You know, if the price was right, I would do it. I've only sold like 2 or 3 records out of my collection. Oh, I didn't say who that was, but Gus and the New Breed, On the Verge. So, again, looks interesting. I believe this is the last one of the blind purchases. Ian Messenger, an awesome cover there. Hands Across the Night. So, yeah. And I think this one, I want to say this one was going for like 15 on Amazon, a minimum of 15 on Amazon. So, yeah, it's just a curiosity, you know, just knowing what things are worth and making me feel like I'm getting a good deal. All right, so now we're kind of into the stuff I'm at least familiar with a little bit. We have Hiroshima, Another Place, this is my second Outlaws record, Plan to Win. Okay, now I'm very familiar with this one, and the lady at Savers, she was like thrilled about this one. She apparently loved Lee Ritenour, and she, oh, now this lady's probably a little bit older than me, but not much. Yeah, but she said this is a bitchin' cover. I agree, but I haven't heard that, you know, that term in a while. Bitchin'. That's bitchin'. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do love Lee Ritenour, though. I don't think this is a duplicate. I don't think it is. I could be entirely wrong. But the Cars, self-titled, from 1978. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have this one. I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty exciting. My Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed. Those are the ones I recognize offhand, but yeah, very thrilled to add this to my collection. And the last one, and this one, they had a bunch of records. Like I said, I mentioned Donovan. They had a bunch of older records that I just had to pass on. They were just, it looked like someone had been using them as frisbees, literally. Just horrible. But this one is in decent shape. I think I allowed for some scratches. Not much, though. It's surprising, actually. But free, Fire and Water. And I want to say they're 70s? They look 70s. Definitely not 60s. And of course there's no copyright. Of course. We're just going to say 70s. I don't think it's 80s. I want to say it's late 70s. Anyway, there you go. I will see you next time.